I came home early, a surprise for our anniversary. It's flowers in one hand, her favorite takeout in the other. I was excited, picturing the look on her face, but the surprise was on me. As I walked in, I heard voices from our bedroom. One was hers, soft and laughing. The other was deep, unfamiliar, a man's voice. My heart dropped. I stood there, frozen in the hallway, listening to the sounds that would shatter my world. The flowers slipped from my hand, scattering petals on the floor, a stark contrast to the ugliness I was hearing. She thought I'd stay silent. She thought I'd just swallow the pain, the betrayal, pretend everything was fine, for the sake of appearances, for the sake of our history. For years we built a life together, or so I thought. We had friends, a home, shared dreams. How could I just throw that all away? That's what she was counting on. She underestimated me. She underestimated the man she had promised to love and cherish. She saw my quiet nature as weakness, my willingness to compromise as a sign that I could be pushed over. She was wrong. The next morning, the air was thick with unspoken words. She acted like nothing happened, humming in the kitchen, asking if I wanted coffee. The casualness of it all was the worst part. I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw a stranger. The woman I loved was gone, replaced by someone who could lie to my face with a smile. I didn't yell, I didn't scream, just said, "We need to talk." The smile faded from her face. She knew. She tried to deny it at first. "You're being crazy," she said, her voice shaking slightly. But I had the evidence, not just what I heard, but the little things that suddenly made sense. The late nights at work, the secretive phone calls, the sudden distance between us. It all clicked into place. A painful puzzle finally solved. When I laid it all out, piece by piece, the denial turned to excuses. "It just happened," she claimed. It didn't mean anything, but betrayal always means something. It means our vows meant nothing to her. She begged, she cried, she promised it would never happen again. She wanted to sweep it under the rug, to go back to the way things were. But you can't unbreak a mirror. All you see are fractured reflections of what used to be. Staying silent would have meant accepting a lie. It would have meant betraying myself, my own self-worth. It would have meant living in a shadow, wondering every time she was late, every time her phone buzzed. I couldn't live like that. So, I didn't stay silent. I told her it was over. The shock on her face was real. She truly believed I wouldn't leave. She thought I was too invested, too weak to start over. But walking away from her was the strongest thing I've ever done. It was an act of self-preservation, of choosing my own sanity and future over a relationship built on deceit. The process was messy and painful. There's no denying that. But with every box I packed, I felt a little lighter. Starting over isn't easy. There are days filled with anger, sadness, and doubt. But there are also days filled with hope. The freedom to build a life on a foundation of honesty, starting with being honest with myself, is worth the struggle. I chose to speak my truth, not for revenge, but for my own liberation, and I've never looked back. If you're going through something similar, know that your voice matters and your peace is worth fighting for. Thanks for listening to my story. Follow for more content on navigating life's toughest moments and finding your strength.